Last week, I made a video where I talked about the things that will not happen if the Aburi agreement had been implemented the way it was agreed in Aburi in Ghana at the time. And in this very video, we are going to explore the things that would happen, right, if the Aburi agreement had been implemented the way it was discussed in Aburi in Ghana. Share this video so that others will learn. Number one, if the Aburi agreement had been implemented the way it was agreed in Ghana, number one thing that will happen is that the federal government would have given the Eastern region the much needed funds that it needed to take care of Nigerians that were displaced from their jobs. These people are human beings. They need money, they need food, they need shelter, their children need to go to school, even the schools that their children need to go to in the East, because these people ran away from wherever they came from in all parts of the Federation, and they came back in millions in the state. So even the schools that their children has to go to, the Eastern region needs more teachers so that they can employ more teachers and pay these teachers. And if they need to do some expansions in the school, these things needs to be done. And all these things needs money for it to be done and done very well. So if the Aburi agreement had been implemented the way it was discussed in Aburi and agreed on, this would have happened. The second thing that would have happened is that every region would have control of its own resources. Every region will still have control of its own military, its own police, its own navy, its own air force, and every region will be allowed to grow at its own pace. Regions might change the uniforms of all their forces, but then it falls back to the fact that the regions will still have control of their own security and be able to secure themselves. Okay, that was the second thing that would have happened if that agreement had been implemented that the way it was agreed upon. And the third thing that would have happened is that each region will have a greater autonomy over the control of its own resources. Every resource that you find in your land, you are responsible for negotiating with anybody, any foreign agency that you need to negotiate with, so that you can export or import or do anything you like the way you like it, that will foster economic growth. Each region will have more say and more autonomy to use their own resources to drive their own economy. That was number three. Number four is that the central government would not make any decision without the approval of the regional governors. Now, I need you to understand the fact that even if regions were abolished and then there will be states, the states will still have the kind of autonomy that the regions had to be able to control their own resources, and the federal government cannot make major decisions that will affect the country without the approval of the governors, whether they are regional governors or state governors. That was number four. Number five is that there will be a healthy competition for economic growth and infrastructural development. Of course, if one region is doing well more than the others are more likely to emulate what the other region is doing better than them and to apply it in their own region. And the whole regions will be growing at their own pace. So, do you think there are more things that would happen if that agreement had been implemented that way? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Know your history.